All right. So now, first of all, we want to thank our sponsors again, since it's been an hour since we've been on the air and an hour since we've done that. So Akamai obviously came in, which was very helpful, and obviously loaning Akamai's, #1 employee of the year to us for the event. Boyan, always the awesome sponsor, Intuit Teleport, and then also Relax AI by Sivo. So thank you. We also have a community sponsor. You're going to hear more about Merge Forward later. Super exciting initiative from the CNCF. And Catherine Paganini, who is also the co-founder of KubeCrash, is extremely active in Merge Forward. And so thank you, Catherine, for all the wonderful things you do and for that amazing organization. So thank you to all of our sponsors. So now I think Merrin is ready and we can bring in, I'm very proud to say that Merrin is my colleague. I get to work with some incredible people at Intuit, Merrin included. Merrin is one of our distinguished engineers and our AI and Agentic expert. And so I pretty much begged Merrin to be part of the QuickBooks family. So Merrin, welcome to QuickBooks. Your first time here. If you want to introduce yourself even more than that, please do. You can talk about, your work a little bit, or you can just go straight into your slides, which I don't see. Okay, there we go. We'll bring your slides up. We will go into the back. Actually, can you say something, Merrin, so we can make sure we can hear your...
Thank you for this opportunity. Glad to be here.
Awesome, we can hear you. So we'll go backstage and take it away. Thanks so much.
Hi, everyone. My name is Merrin Kurian. I'm a distinguished engineer at Intuit. I lead AI Foundation, which provides the platform capabilities for developing all kinds of AI, ranging from traditional AI all the way to AI agents in Intuit products. Today, I'm going to talk about how we are scaling AI agents at Intuit scale through a platform that we've built with Guardrails, at the same time helping accelerate velocity through keeping up with the times. But before I go, let me quickly introduce Intuit. Intuit's mission is to power prosperity around the world. Our strategy is to be the AI-driven expert platform for our 100 million customers across Intuit Enterprise Suite, TurboTax, Credit Karma, MailChimp, and QuickBooks. Here are a few numbers to show the scale of our platform. We serve 60 billion machine learning predictions every day. 85% of our customers repeatedly engage with our AI agent experiences. And one of the key aspects of our AI strategy is to be AI plus HI. So we have an extensive expert network we tap into to provide expert in the loop solutions to augment our AI powered solutions on a need basis. One of our big bets as a company is done for you experiences. And as part of this big bet, we have now launched several generative AI and agent powered experiences across our product portfolio. I would like to share a few statistics, and all of these numbers are a little dated from 6 months ago, and they have only grown tremendously from there. One of the few examples, again, this number is from last tax year. I do not have the latest from this tax season. A large number of new tax forms were supported by TurboTax, making data entry automatic. QuickBooks users find that accounting agent saves them 12 hours a month, keeping the books accurate. As they get better, we also see that over 50% of all transactions now are categorized by this agent, saving them even more time. Our payment agent enables businesses using QuickBooks to get paid 5 days faster on an average, and they are 10% more likely to get paid in full. Our product support agent can handle more than 100 million questions, which is an order of magnitude larger than years ago. Now, to show you an example of how our agents work inside one of our products, which is Intuit Enterprise Suite. At the top, you can see a few of them: accounting, expense and bill pay, sales, marketing, payroll, and so on. So let me show you an example from the payments agent. This is the payments agent. In this example, it is drafting an invoice for a customer based on all the email exchanges the business owner and the customer have had. Now, these include whiteboarding, screenshots, back of the envelope calculation screenshots, PDFs, documents, images of whatever items that they wanted to discuss on. So all of these email conversations and the documents and the images are processed by this agent, scans out all of that information, and automatically drafts the invoice for the business owner to review and to send to the customer. This saves them a ton of time. And also, because now the invoices can be sent faster, they are also getting paid a lot faster. Another example is our finance agent. In this case, it's helping assess the profit margin of a business. So the business owner is asking for comparative analysis on peers, and the agent is showing how, due to material costs and labor costs relative to peers, they have a lower net profit margin. So the business owner then sources some codes from various suppliers and then feeds it back to the agent. The agent makes specific recommendations on vendors based on what it found in the codes. But we know that large language models are not to be trusted with numbers. So we use tools for doing the actual calculations to pull up the numbers and do the financial analysis, including traditional ML techniques. But they don't have to accept it. They can actually connect with an expert to further validate the agent's findings and gather insights. So why did I tell you all of this? Because all of these agents across Intuit products have been developed on the same internal platform we call GenOS. GenOS is short for Generative AI Operating System. We started out as the platform for developing generative AI applications 3 years ago, and we have kept up with the times, and now all agents at Intuit are built on this platform. Before I deep dive, I want to share why we had to build a GenOS. What problems did we want to solve? So we started this journey 3 years ago. There was no enterprise grade application development platform for generative AI. We wanted our product developers to move fast and focus on solving customer problems rather than figuring out security, privacy, compliance, and safety of these applications over and over again. Even today, there is no off the shelf solution that can meet Intuit's responsible AI and data governance standards and scale across our various product lines. So each of our product lines come with their own complexity with regard to security, legal, privacy, compliance. So even before we started onboarding a single use case, we partnered across all these stakeholders from various functions, made sure all their requirements are met, and platformization of these capabilities help liberate our developers to focus on only building applications for solving customer problems. Now, the other factor is that this current technology revolution is unlike anything we have seen before. Things keep changing and moving all the time. So we need a platform that moves fast, keeping up with the latest developments in the industry in a way that accelerates our product development teams. So we built on top of our existing capabilities on platform data and AI to help achieve that acceleration, because our goal is to help teams rapidly experiment with the latest advances in technology without having to go and explore all of those on their own. So building one platform, we bring in all the latest and greatest, and they can rest assured that they can focus on solving the customer problems. Building one opinionated platform also helped us streamline the end-to-end agent development process at Intuit, enabling us to scale. Here is a screenshot from AI Workbench, our portal that serves as the entry point for all AI development work. This is where our developers can find guided paid paths and end-to-end developer tooling for developing any AI solutions, including agents. Now, why do we care with the development portal in the age of coding agents? For a large number of technologists at Intuit, this is their very first experience working with AI. Most of the time, they do not know what they do not know. So we want to ensure that they have the right guidance available to them at all times. We also want to scale to serve every technologist into it without spending a lot of time on support. So it's extremely important for our developer experience to be intuitive and self-serve. So as you can see, we have the complete end-to-end development tooling for building any generative AI application and agent, all the way from managing prompts, using RAG, tracing, debugging, testing guardrails, doing evals, and also to launch, monitor, do A/B testing, and measure the impact. So self-serve onboarding and guided workflows are what accelerates our AI experimentation at scale. Before I move on to the internals of GenOS, I want to touch upon evals. We all know what makes a great AI engineer is to be able to do evals correctly. We take evals very seriously at Intuit. So we have company-wide dashboards that all leaders track to ensure our agents are meeting the quality and performance bar. And we also know it's not going to be straightforward for anyone to quickly ramp up and do evals correctly. So in addition to building the platform capability, we also offer training workshops, starter code for various types of evals, and of course, the infrastructure with pipelines for moving data around for annotation, ground truth, online evals to enable continuous monitoring of these agents in production. Okay, with that background, this is a high-level overview of GenOS with both the development view and the runtime view. So you can see the development view on the left side. We'll start from there. Remember, we evolved GenOS from building generative AI applications to agents. So GenOS supports various types of applications with single prompts to single agents with multiple tools and skills and agent orchestration in a multi-agent system. You can see that this diagram is already outdated because it doesn't mention skills. So on the left side, we have the development view. We have developer tools. We offer an agent starter kit, which acts as the framework for agents developed at Intuit. Agents are then deployed from the agent starter kit onto our runtime in product surfaces. And on the right side, we have the runtime view. And Gen Runtime is the control plane which activates these agents from various registries, provide them access to tools, memory, skills, of course, the LLMs themselves with all the guardrails needed. This control plane is instrumented end-to-end and enforce various policies per our standards. And Gen UX on top in the product experiences offer solutions for developing user experience components needed for agents. So I am not going into the lower level stack, but I do want to say that our agent runtime is fashioned on top of our services runtime, which is what we call the Intuit Kubernetes service. So everything you see where the agents are deployed to the Gen Runtime components, these are all built on Intuit Kubernetes service. So digging deeper with the developer tools section, we started by offering a prompt playground to familiarize with LLMs. Then when teams needed to build applications, we expanded the scope to prompt designing, prompt optimization, prompt evaluation tools, and more. Then we also started supporting RAG pipelines as a self-serve capability. So you can bring your content for embedding and indexing, choose your chunking strategy, and also do evals for RAG. We offer labeling capabilities to create golden data sets and manage ground truth. And as we mentioned, we invest heavily on evals. So all our resources for developers, including the cookbooks and the tutorials, the frameworks, and tracing, all of that is available as part of our developer toolchain. All the development time artifacts are stored in registries, which get activated at runtime as requests come in. Agent Starter Kit is our internal framework for enabling both velocity and enforcing standards. We provide a CI/CD tool chain for developing and managing agents in production with starter code, reference implementations, patterns, tracing, debugging tools, offline eval harness, and it automatically registers, deploys, sets up these agents for experimentation and also online evaluation for continuous monitoring. We rely on open source agent harnesses and agent orchestration frameworks like LangGraph, and teams are free to choose their framework so long as they are compatible with our control plane. So we have opinionated payload for developing agents at Intuit, and we ensure we have the flexibility for teams to make choices wherever they need them for solving their customer problems. Coming to Gen Runtime, our control plane, we have stored all the artifacts from development time in the registry. Now, as user requests come in, the agents, tools, skills, prompts are all activated from this registry. The agents are provided with access to memory, tools, and skills, and of course the LLM with all the guardrails. The control plane instrumentation end-to-end enables us to enforce policies for access control, fair use, security, compliance, data governance, and responsible AI. At the top of this diagram, you can see the AI registry. We have registry for use cases, prompts, agents, tools, and most recently skills. We offer support for context engineering through RAG. We have both the vector graph and graph RAG solutions. We bring in all the profile data stores at Intuit and domain capabilities to bring in additional data for these agents for context. We offer a variety of large language models in various modalities and access patterns, and all of these are instrumented with what we call the Gen SRF, the Generative AI Security, Risk, and Fraud Controls and Guardrails. So this control plane provides out-of-the-box instrumentation, providing observability, analytics, cost attribution, and enables governance of all of our agents. Finally, Gen UX has UX elements specifically crafted for agentic experiences. They have common components, widgets, renderers, context and action management support. It also instruments all the customer interactions with agents, which are then later tapped into for labeling, evaluation. It goes into memory and continuous improvement of these agents. Let me share a little bit of how we have evolved with agents at Intuit. We started with conversational assistants back in 2023, and we are moving into done-for-you experiences. So our first generation of agents were conversational. The only tools they had access to were the ones intended to do data fetching. And these conversations were meant to provide insights or support rather than do anything on behalf of our users. At the same time, we were also constrained by LLM capacity. Mostly we only had large language models, none of the harnesses, frameworks, and the tool chain around them as today. So we had to build our own frameworks for orchestrating with agent stickiness for multi-turn conversation in a multi-agent system. LLMs at the time did not have function calling, so we had to develop our own RAG-based solution for tool selection. And there was no multi-model support. It was just all GPT-4. Now our agents are done for your experiences. So agents are working in the background and they reason through many steps to make decision using lots of tools and skills at their disposal. And we can also let them take action on user behalf, provided the users approve or an expert approves. So I brought this up because major technology shifts have happened in the last 3 years. We have LLMs which are far more capable. They generate structured outputs and function calling, which is enabling all the agentic revolution that we are seeing today. Prompting them have become more and more easy over the years. They're much cheaper. There's a model family, which has a light version, a workhorse, and a superior reasoning model. It's no longer one size fits all. And increasingly, they are also becoming very specialized in certain domains, like coding, instead of staying general purpose. Frameworks have also evolved. Back in the day, we only had LangChain version 0.0.3. Now we have tons of frameworks. From every place you look, every big cloud provider, startups, especially open source. And we have several protocols, too many, in fact, to be able to follow. And this is still an emerging space. Consolidation is happening. And we are still waiting for standards which are broadly accepted. I remember in the early days, it was extremely hard to tap into the agent's chain of thought reasoning. Now we have tons of frameworks and solutions, especially in open source, that helps us in tracing, debugging, and to get end-to-end telemetry on. So our strategy has always been to adopt standards as they mature. And until that happens, we keep exploring, put our own solutions, and we learn. We also have this notion of fixed, flexible, where we provide guidance on the options available for flexible, so teams can choose based on what they meet their needs. I've also got many questions on how many people, teams do we need to build something like GenOS. We were very fortunate to have sponsorship from the highest levels of leadership. So there's only one Genoise for Intuit. It is also a story of cross-functional collaboration. We start mission teams, stay very nimble, and adapt as we learn or pivot based on how technology changes or customer needs evolve. And we end the mission when the goals are accomplished. We unify existing capabilities, enhance them as needed, all into that single platform and process, working with multiple stakeholders. We have very clear decision-making processes, technology architecture discussion forums to enable us to move fast. And we continue to extend with contributions from our own teams, the customers, which are product development teams. So as a platform, our key tenets are to drive exploration and experimentation with a view to lead the change in constantly evolving technical landscape. We enable pathways for teams for experimentation outside of our platform as well. There are always early adopters in our product development teams who bring in insights. Sometimes they even have solutions which we can harvest. We also organize tech talks and workshops from various vendor partners to showcase the art of possible. This helps us explore new technology and influence Intuit's own tech strategy. Intuit has this week-long hackathon that happens every 6 months across the company. That's a great opportunity to get mind share from everybody at Intuit. So we make sure that we have something new and exciting to launch every 6 months. Agent Starter Kit was launched in the spring hackathon last year. We got 900 downloads and 100 demos in 1 week. So accompanying these hackathons are also workshops where we provide sample apps, reference implementations. So we can help everybody catch up on their learning based on what we offer. And it's important that we stay on top of everyone's minds, so they're always aware of what we do. So we also do roadshows and share outs in various company-wide forums. This was a journey, and we were not always getting it right. We started with very rigid APIs. We built abstractions. We thought we were providing value. But engineers needed flexibility as they were also learning and experimenting. They wanted to download something new from the internet, and it should just be compatible with what we offer from our control plane. So since the industry standards are still emerging, our own abstractions were slowing us down. So now we make sure that our APIs are always compatible with the most popular open source solution at any given time. We began with air-gapped solutions, very rigid review process, even for experimentation. And at the end of the day, some of these experiments didn't have product market fit. So we enabled rapid experimentation with Guardrails, created review processes based on the lifecycle phase of development, more flexible reviews in early experimentation. And because of all our initial failures, there were a lot of skeptics in centralizing one big platform. So we earned credibility by listening to the feedback, making adjustments, and delivering for scale. And they also do their own experiments and realize that we knew what we were talking about. So we sort of build in public within Intuit. So all of our design and architecture discussions happen in company-wide forums, open for all to participate. We do share-outs every week, give early previews of what's upcoming, enabling transparency, and we continue to deliver what we promise. So eventually, we have been able to get credibility to a point where now our customers are looking for guidance instead of just throwing opinions on us. So what did all of these enable? These numbers are from August 2025. I don't have the latest. All I can say is these are severely outdated now. We had 1,300 plus developers on our platform. Remember, Intuit had only 8,000 engineers. So we got a huge share of them adopting our platform, developing agents. Again, from August 2025, we had helped launch 3,500 plus experiments on a daily basis, 450,000 requests. Again, August 2025 numbers. These have all grown. And at that time, 4 trillion tokens per month. And I want to leave you with this. Yes, agents are the new units of software, but they are not developed in vacuum. Agents in production serving real customer needs rely on strong platform foundations. We need domain capabilities represented as skills and tools for these agents to work. We need semantic data layer for agents to leverage the large amounts of data. We need human-aligned judges to score agent performance and do continuous monitoring. We need eval pipelines with annotated data sets at scale. We need multimodal native UX supporting images, documents, voice, and so on. And we need robust infrastructure powering all of these. So yes, agents will automate some work, but for all of these agents to work reliably, we need to do a lot of work. Thank you.
Hi, Merrin. Thank you so much for that. We can take a few questions, and it looks like there are some. And so from Michael, I won't repeat the explicative, but how did you manage to bring those 1.3 thousand engineers into the same direction and avoid chaos? Michael, you almost got me there.
Yeah, it didn't start that way. This is the outcome of 3 years of work, and it's a journey. We, like I said, we have a lot of senior leadership support. That's the other way to look at it. And we do have these architecture forums. I don't think any capability architects work is reviewed as thoroughly as my teams. So everybody can come and opine, and we take in all the inputs as much as we can and provide our solutions, bringing in everybody as much as we can. So just last week, I was looking at the number of people who commented on my proposal for the skill registry. It was 500 plus. So that's how we are able to keep moving.
That's awesome. And Merrin, I know you've always been just at the cutting edge of this when you were in the AI Futures team, and then now recently, we're working together on bringing out all of the agentic development in, with the rollout of obviously Cloud Code and things like that. What would you say? I'm totally putting you on the spot. What would you say has been because the theme of today is agentic for platform engineering. So what do you think has been kind of the biggest challenge that you've had to overcome?
It's the pace at which things change. It is the influencers who try to influence, who hype things up. And as a technologist, you go back to first principles, right? Do what you always do. Do your technology POC due diligence before you jump in any hype bandwagon. Because I have seen even product managers jump into the hype, come up with roadmap with deadlines. And then the engineers are asking questions. Oh, how do we even make this happen? Is this technology even available, right? So it should be the way it has been before, right? The technologist does POCs, understand feasibility, and then we create the roadmap. But again, the timelines are compressed. We have to do what we have to do, but that hasn't changed.
Yeah. Okay, any other questions? Just looking. And by the way, everybody, make sure you use the chat for questions. We're not doing the polls or the Q&A. So if you have any questions, other than it looks like Jude is looking for some of his countrymen, any Ghanaians in the house? That is not a question for Merrin. But just Merrin, I don't know if you were here in the beginning, we have 6 continents represented in our audience today. People from all over the world have joined this morning, which is really cool. Okay, so unless you have any last thoughts that you want to leave us with, if there's anything else you want to make sure that the team knows, like best practices, or if you're going to do one thing, do this.
Yeah, I was going back to my last slide. I stopped. It is, everything is built on robust infrastructure. People discount that fact, right? The ability to go scale in production depends, at Intuit at least, on the Kubernetes infrastructure we offer. And without that, we wouldn't have scaled to the way we have scaled. So this is not new. I know I heard conversations about AI gateway, but then it's just an extension of our existing gateway. If you start from scratch, yes, it's overwhelming. It's a lot to do. But if you build on top of what came before, it's an incremental change. So
awesome words of wisdom. And everybody remember, we love taxes. Yes. We have to say that we just survived our season. It's not for the faint of heart to be at this company in the month of April. So we love taxes. Okay. All right. Thanks, Merrin. Really, really appreciate it. And we're going to take you backstage if you want to hang out for a little while.